Why is the Pacific Ocean the same size as Brazil? Or why does Europe look so much bigger than Africa when we know it's actually smaller? It turns out that our traditional maps are hiding some very interesting secrets from us. And in this video, we will expose them all. Welcome to my channel. The first lie that maps tell us is that they are, in fact, correct. Maps are not a true representation of reality. Even the maps that we use to navigate our cities are full of lies. This map of London, for example, makes the city look like this. But it does unshow us what's inside these buildings, or how many people are inside those buildings at any given time. And this is important because the amount of space a country or city takes up on a map has nothing to do with its actual size. Instead, it has everything to do with how important that country or city is to the person who made the map. The more important it is, the bigger it will be on the map. Okay. But there is no universal importance to countries or cities. It's all relative. So this is just one of the many examples of the hidden lies of map projections. The second lie is that Antarctica is a continent. In reality, Antarctica is just a really big ice cube. If we were to melt it down, it wouldn't even be the biggest chunk of ice on Earth. That title belongs to Greenland, which means that Greenland is actually the real continent and Antarctica is just a figment of our imagination. Of course, this isn't really a lie, but it is something that most people don't realize. Because of this, Antarctica is often left off of maps entirely, even though it's technically part of South America. But even if it wasn't, it would still be the fourth largest landmass on Earth after Asia, Africa, and North America. The third lie is that the Arctic Circle is a real place. If you've ever driven a snowmobile across the frozen wasteland of the Arctic Circle, you'll be happy to know that you're not actually going in circles. That's because the Arctic Circle is just a line of latitude, not an actual physical object. In fact, there is no such thing as a circle in the Arctic or Antarctic. Oh no. These so-called circles are actually just lines of latitude. And the only reason we call them circles is because our maps are flat representations of a spherical Earth. The fourth lie is that Europe is bigger than Africa. This one is easy to understand because if you take away Turkey, Greece, and Russia, then Europe is definitely bigger than Africa. But why do maps lie about their size? Well, it turns out that the way we project maps onto paper is actually based on a number of assumptions about the world that are always true. For example, the Mercator projection, which is the most common type of map projection, assumes that the Earth is a perfect sphere. It also assumes that all land masses are equally important and that distance is the most important thing to represent. However, the Earth is not a perfect sphere, slightly wider at the equator than at the poles. And we now know that not all land masses are equally important, and that distance is always the most important thing to represent. So this means that the Mercator projection and other map projections like it are actually based on a number of lies. But what does this mean for us? Does it mean that we can't trust maps? Well, yes and no. We should be aware of the limitations of maps and what they're trying to tell us. But we should also remember that they are just tools that we use to navigate the world, and they have their strengths and weaknesses. So what are some examples of maps that don't lie? Well, here are a few. This map shows the relative sizes of countries around the world. It's based on a projection called the Gall-Peters projection, which is designed to preserve the accurate representation of land masses. Another map that doesn't lie is this one. It shows the population density of countries around the world. This map is based on the equidistant conic projection, which is designed to preserve distance. In conclusion, maps are full of hidden lies, and it's up to us to be aware of them. But we should also remember that maps are just tools that we use to navigate the world, and they have their strengths and weaknesses. Now it's time for you to share your thoughts. What are some other examples of maps that lie to us? And how do they do it? Let us know in the comments below. Also, before you go, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.